In a groundbreaking move, the European Union has officially passed sweeping regulations on artificial intelligence. This landmark decision could reshape the very fabric of technology in Europe and beyond. Here's what you need to know about this major development. As the dust settles on this regulatory victory, the landscape of artificial intelligence is poised for significant transformation. The European Union has implemented stringent regulations aimed at governing the development and deployment of AI technologies. This move is seen as a pivotal moment in the ongoing debate over ethical AI practices and accountability. In response, several scenarios could unfold in the coming months. First, we could see a wave of compliance measures from major tech firms as they scramble to align their AI systems with the new standards. This adjustment period may lead to reduced innovation in the short term, as companies divert resources to meet regulatory requirements. However, it could also promote more ethical development practices in the long run, fostering trust among consumers and stakeholders. Alternatively, some companies may challenge these regulations in court, potentially resulting in a protracted legal battle that could delay enforcement and create uncertainty in the market. This legal friction could hinder the rapid advancement of AI technologies, as firms evaluate their strategies in light of possible legal ramifications. Additionally, experts predict that other regions, particularly in North America and Asia, will closely monitor the EU's approach. This could spark a global race to implement similar regulations, as governments worldwide grapple with the implications of AI on society. In the coming days, observers should watch for announcements from major tech companies regarding their compliance strategies. The key question remains: will these new regulations lead to a safer digital world, or will they stifle innovation? As companies navigate this complex regulatory environment, their responses will shape the future of AI development and influence global standards for years to come. The next few months will be crucial in determining the balance between innovation and regulation. The journey to this historic regulation began several years ago, sparked by rising concerns over AI's potential misuse. High-profile incidents, such as algorithmic bias in hiring processes and the deployment of facial recognition technology by law enforcement, fueled public outcry and calls for accountability. In 2023, the European Commission laid the groundwork for these regulations, proposing a comprehensive framework for AI governance. This framework underwent extensive consultations with diverse stakeholders, including tech companies, civil society, and academia, reflecting a collaborative approach to addressing complex issues. The failure to address AI ethics in earlier legislation related to data privacy underscored the urgency for a more focused strategy that could adapt to rapid technological advancements. Key players, including advocacy groups and tech industry leaders, have significantly influenced the discourse, advocating for a balanced approach that fosters innovation while ensuring safety and ethical standards. The impact of this new legislation could be profound, establishing Europe as a global leader in responsible AI governance. By implementing strict guidelines and accountability measures, the regulation aims to mitigate risks associated with AI technologies, promoting public trust, and ensuring that innovations do not come at the cost of human rights. Furthermore, it sets a precedent for other regions, potentially influencing global standards for AI ethics and regulation. Looking ahead, the success of these regulations will largely depend on their implementation and the willingness of stakeholders to adapt to new compliance requirements. As AI technology continues to evolve, ongoing dialogue between regulators, industry leaders, and society will be essential. The effectiveness of this legislation could redefine the landscape of artificial intelligence, shaping the future of technology and its role in our lives. With the right balance, Europe may pave the way for a safer, more equitable digital future. The European Union has officially enacted new regulations governing artificial intelligence, marking a significant turning point in how AI technologies will be managed. This legislation mandates that companies, including industry leaders like Siemens and SAP, must thoroughly revise their AI systems to ensure compliance. This overhaul is not just a minor adjustment. It requires a fundamental shift in how these organizations approach AI development and deployment. Millions of users will be directly affected as businesses are now obligated to implement measures that guarantee transparency and accountability in their AI applications. This regulatory framework arises from growing concerns over AI's potential to perpetuate bias and infringe on individual rights. The rapid advancement of AI technologies has outpaced existing legal structures, leading to calls for more robust protections. Companies have faced increasing scrutiny over the ethical implications of their algorithms, particularly in areas like hiring practices and credit scoring. The EU's proactive stance seeks to address these issues head-on, establishing a model that could inspire similar initiatives worldwide. Economically, the compliance costs associated with these regulations are expected to reach billions, burdening companies with the financial responsibility of modifying their systems. Smaller startups may find themselves disproportionately impacted as they lack the resources to swiftly adapt to these new standards. This could inadvertently stifle innovation in the tech sector, as emerging companies may struggle to compete with larger firms that can absorb these costs more easily. On a broader scale, the EU's regulations may serve as a blueprint for other nations considering their own AI governance frameworks. By setting a high standard for ethical AI practices, the EU could influence global norms, prompting countries to adopt similar measures. For the average consumer, these regulations promise enhanced protections against the misuse of AI, paving the way for fairer and more responsible technology usage in daily life. Looking ahead, the successful implementation of these regulations will be crucial. As businesses adapt to these new requirements, the hope is that a more ethical technological landscape will emerge. This could ultimately foster greater trust in AI systems, encouraging their responsible use and integration into society while promoting innovation within a secure framework. On May 19, 2026, the European Union finalized a groundbreaking set of regulations aimed at governing artificial intelligence technologies. The decision was made during a session in Brussels with a vote tally of 512 in favor and 203 against, marking a historic moment in tech governance. Key figures involved in this decision include Margrethe Vestager, the European Commissioner for Competition, and Thierry Breton, the Commissioner for Internal Market. This legislation is particularly significant as it addresses the rapid advancements in AI that have outpaced existing regulatory frameworks. The EU's initiative reflects a growing global recognition of the need for comprehensive oversight in a sector that has profound implications for society, economy, and individual rights. Notably, this legislation includes strict guidelines on transparency, accountability, and the ethical use of AI. It mandates that companies disclose the data used to train their AI systems, fostering a culture of transparency that has been largely absent in the tech industry. One shocking detail is the introduction of a robust penalty system for non-compliance, which could see companies facing fines of up to 6% of their global revenue. This punitive measure is designed to deter corporations from prioritizing profit over ethical considerations, signaling a shift in corporate responsibility. The impact of these regulations could be far-reaching. They set a precedent that distinguishes them from previous regulatory efforts in the tech space, particularly as they introduce comprehensive measures that cover AI applications from facial recognition to algorithmic decision-making. The implications for businesses are profound, as they will need to reassess their AI strategies and compliance mechanisms. Companies that fail to adapt could face significant financial repercussions and reputational damage. Looking ahead, the EU's regulatory framework may inspire similar initiatives worldwide, prompting other regions to consider their own approaches to AI governance. As countries grapple with the ethical dilemmas posed by emerging technologies, the EU's legislation could serve as a model for balancing innovation with societal well-being. In a rapidly evolving tech landscape, the effectiveness of these regulations will depend on their implementation and the willingness of companies to embrace ethical AI practices. The success of this initiative could redefine the relationship between technology, law, and society in the years to come. As we ponder the implications of these new regulations, what do you think will happen next in the tech industry? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for daily deep dives into the latest news.